Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Schaeffler booth. I'm very pleased to introduce Schaeffler latest technology to Tokyo Motor Show of 2015. Schaeffler is a major partner of automotive industry. As of today, it's global industry, it's a global partner. And the automotive industry, based on what we know, is facing major challenges for the future. We see very high technological development, digitization, electrification is one area of that, but also urbanization and environmental issues. And we try to bring solutions to the automotive industry, to our partners as car manufacturers, especially in the range of powertrain and chassis. This is where Schaeffler is going to be placed. We see three major, what we even call paradigm shifts in this industry. The first is the powertrain itself. The powertrain itself will be electrified. We can show a lot of solutions in this area, understanding systems for this. It will still be the combustion engine. We will talk about this a little bit later in detail. It's the electrification of the transmission. There will be several solutions of transmission. It will be manual, stop-start solutions. It will be stepped automatic with torque converters, and it will be double clutch transmissions and torque converter transmissions, but also electrification is going on. We will show that. The second will be the robotized car, will be the car that is autonomous driving, and we have solutions on the chassis side to support that. And last but not least, the car of the future will be integrated in the internet. So we will get information from the internet, and this will influence the shifting and how the cars are running, how efficient the powertrain will be. So this is a combination that we see. So Schaeffler, as a traditional mechanical component supplier, will move into mechatronics and will move into software, will move into the direction of electronics combination, mechanics, electronics, and this is what we show here for this show. And I think let's start with Professor Pleus, my colleague, being responsible for automotive and especially focusing on what we offer at this show on the combustion engine side.
The technologies which we are showing here on the engine side, we still believe, of course, that the combustion engine is the main pillar of individual mobility for the next decades to come. It will be electrified, quite sure. There will be hybrid solutions, quite sure. But still the combustion engine will take care of, when you put together even the portion of the hybrids, which also contain, of course, a combustion engine, more than 90% of all the vehicles, even beyond 2025. So that means that we have to focus a lot on optimizing the engine, and what we show here in Tokyo specifically are electrified modules. For example, electric cam phasing devices instead of hydraulic cam phasing devices, which means that we have less energy consumption, because here again it's energy on demand, because it's an electromechanical system. It's much faster than a hydraulic system. It offers much more dynamics in order to come from one point in the engine map to another one. So that's a typical example how those challenges which we are currently facing can be supported by us. Then when we look into intelligent controls of the engine, another highlight which we are showing here is of course fully variable valve actuation. You can see the UniAir module which we have developed, and we are actually currently also working on projects with Asian customers in this regard. We have also fully variable electromechanical solutions for the valve actuations, and all these systems will help to reduce CO2 further by around about 5 to 6% if we start from a baseline which already contains cam phasing devices. Then of course a focus which we always have at Schaeffler is to reduce friction. Those are small contributions, but nevertheless they are important. If we replace, for example, plain bearings by roller bearings in balancer shafts, camshafts, and maybe soon crankshafts. We have a reduction potential in the order of magnitude 2% CO2, which is important. The next item which is important is intelligent controls of the cooling flows, of the thermal flows in the engine and the transmission. So what we are showing here is thermal management module. Again, something which went into production already a couple of years with a large European car manufacturer, but now we have one interest and a lot of active projects also with Japanese OEs in this regard. And here again, those systems have a CO2 reduction potential of around about 3%. Again, a very important step. This basically then leads to combining the engine with the transmission in an intelligent way. Just when you look at the thermal management module, we have the cooling circuit of the engine, we have the cooling circuit also of the transmission. So we look at those two things together, transmission plus engine, complete powertrain, how to optimize this, and then further on, how to start to electrify it, how to integrate electric machines into the powertrain, and like this coming to hybrid solutions. And colleague Gutzmer will explain more about that.
Powertrain of the future is really driven by huge improvements of the combustion engine and combination combustion engine plus transmission. But transmission is key to combine electrification. So if we run in the future as well as electric for a certain range and combustion engine for long runs, the transmission is the key to combine these two. And we have developed a so-called P2 hybrid solution. And this is a module where we integrate, where we bring the electric motor in between the combustion engine and the transmission. And where we use our huge clutch technology, dry clutch, wet clutch, to really integrate these clutches and the clutch release system in the inner side of an electric motor. And therefore we reduce the necessary axial space or length to integrate this in the system. So this is in addition. It's a so-called P2 hybrid. And we have two solutions available for the market. We have a so-called 48 volt solutions, which offers 20 kilowatt of power. This is especially for boosting, for recuperation, which is important, and low speed driving in parking lots, for example. This is in development, but the other development that we are going in production is the solution in high voltage. This is 380 volt with 60 to 90 kilowatt in these solutions. And dependent on the battery size, you can drive 50 or even 70 kilometer purely electric. And you then can switch with our clutch solutions between pure electric driving, combined driving, or pure combustion engine driving. So this is one area of hybridization where we are focusing on, and where we again combine mechanical actuation, mechatronical, and electric competence in the Schaeffler area of the future. And this is solutions, as we mentioned, for global partners, but we feel and we think this is also of great interest for the Japanese OEs. So the second hybridization or electrification for powertrain solution that we showed, that you have brought to this show, is the so-called electric axle. Assume you have a car with a front wheel driven combustion engine system, stop start, anything installed. We can offer a modular approach solution. This is an electric motor, again 48 volt and 380 volt solution. Again, one 20 kilowatt, the other one 60 to 100 kilowatt. And we can offer this to drive the rear wheel axles. So you have an electric all-wheel drive system that you can switch combustion engine combined and pure electric driving again. And what our specific is that we offer electric motor plus 1 or 2 speed transmission. This is important for speed range and efficiency improvement in this approach. And we additionally offer a extension of this module for so-called torque vectoring. So we add here, and you can see this on the left side of the module, a small electric motor, and then we can shift the torque between left and right wheel up to 1200 Newton meter difference. So this is support, this is for safety, this is for traction control, so this is active improvement of driving behavior, safety, agility, but at the same time saving CO2. With 48 volt solutions, P2 or E-axle, we think you can save up to 12-15% CO2 or better fuel consumption. With the high voltage, we are up in the 25+% range that we have improvements. And you see, Schaeffler is moving from being a reliable partner on mechanics, on friction reduction, bearing, tappets, elements like this, clutches, into the future of hybridized or electric driving, using the competence that we have and extending that to electronics, software. So this is what we have to show for this year to Japanese OE, to Japanese market specifically, taking our global competence and bring this over here. So we decided to extend our R&D presence here. So within the next 5 years, for example, we will double our R&D staff because we see a great future for us in combination with the Japanese OEs, and we are welcome, so we feel so far, with our technology to this market. And to mention the latest highlight that we have, and this is coming to emotion, coming to future mobility, and this is future motorsport, and this is Formula E. And we have developed the powertrain for the German competing team in Formula E racing. So that means Schaeffler developed the electric motor for this race car, the transmission for this race car, the software electronics for this race car. And I can show you this as a last stage on our booth. So we talked about the future of mobility is electrified. And we, as Schaeffler, want to be a reliable partner of this electrification right from the beginning. And so it's quite important that we look on all areas where electrification can take place. In one area where engineers get knowledge, get challenges, and can handle their emotion is motorsports. And there is a new global racing event, racing series, which was created 1 year ago, which is Formula E. And we have decided as Schaeffler right from the beginning that this is an area where we can prove our competence in this challenging event right from the beginning. And this is important, that we prove technology that we want to develop for production engines, also in those kind of competitive environments. And we would be very happy to see a Japanese event maybe next season with this competitive environment. We know Japan OEs, the country, is very much focusing on electric mobility, on hybrids, on fuel cell, on all these new technologies. And this is new technology in a completely new, innovative area of motorsports, and it should come to Japan. We would love to see our car, our powertrain, being in a racing event in Japan in the future. Thank you very much for your listening and your attention.